chat in. Let's do some Q&A. See if I can bring value. Hold on. Let's see. Happy, what day is today? Wednesday. Wednesday is my project day. It's a crazy, amazing, awesome projects, and this is my break to help you guys. So let's bring in my guy Chad. How you doing?
Living good, man. Better than I deserve. How are you?
I'm great, man. I apologize for the late start. Instagram wasn't letting me do it, but we're here now.
I know. I love it. Glad to be here. Honored.
So where are you from?
Seattle, Washington.
Oh, nice. So I told my wife that I was going to take her to every city in North America with 1 million plus people. And we had everything mapped up. It was just Seattle and Portland are kind of on their own in the middle of nowhere to drive to. So we got to figure out a way to fly.
Come out here in July or August. It's beautiful out here. Lots to do.
All right. I've been there before, and my wife hasn't. There's more people who show up when the Blue Jays play. I'm from Toronto.
Oh yeah, it's crazy, man.
We the Canadians just destroyed the entire stadium. It's a home team game.
It is a home team game for that, and that happens for sure. So, yeah.
Cool, man. Well, what do you got? How can I help?
Yeah, man. We'll just kind of intro for myself. I'm a sales manager for an info education product. They're based out of Arizona, so I just work everything remote. I'll probably be moving down there in the fall after I get married in August.
Nice. You got a busy year.
Yeah, man, got a lot to do. And currently, we had one product. It's in real estate investing, and then we just did a second product with. This is more around wholesale. This is more around creative financing. But we're experiencing a lot of growth. We're going to be also franchising this company, the parent company, which we've modeled everything off of as well. So a lot of stuff going on with lots of change. We're having lots of growing pains, right? So it's just caused me to be more reactive than proactive in my work, which I don't really like to have. But with so much change, it's hard to get ahead of the curve and train people to be ready on certain things. So how do you take control once you notice that and get on track to get more proactive instead of reactive in my daily tasks so that I can serve those people in my company and my teams in the best way possible?
Okay, so how much control do you actually have? Because it's not your business.
It's true. Yeah. I manage the whole sales org at this point, and I will be making new teams as we get new spokes underneath us as well.
So with the people under you, it's a lot easier. For the people over you, it's a lot harder.
Yeah.
Because if the CEO comes in and says, dude, I need this done, it's hard for you to say, well, I'm working on this and I can't do your project right now.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I don't know how often that happens, and you can definitely kind of negotiate some rules of the road. But what I love doing, so I love having a no crisis business. I like to run a no crisis business. I hate dealing with crisis because usually crisis is not actually that important, and it takes you away from doing the things that are important.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have a phone number, right? This phone is what I'm using to talk to you, but you can't call me. There's no number to reach me because when is a phone call actually good? Like, when was the last time you received an unscheduled phone call and were happy about it? It's almost never.
Yeah.
It's usually just distractions. At least with texting or email or something, you can get back to it on your time. But when it's a phone call, you have to pick it up. And that, even if it's just looking at it, who's this person calling me? It distracts you from doing whatever you were supposed to be doing. It might take you 10 minutes to get back to the thing.
Yeah.
So what I've learned to do is be hyper focused on what I'm actually working on. So, when I'm writing my book, I need an entire day to sit there and just write my book.
But still, your teams on a daily basis need certain things from you and answers from you. So how do you not get caught up in the everyday little details of what my sales reps need me to be open and helping them with? I have team leads underneath me. I'm hopefully going to make them managers soon.
Yep.
But right now, I'm overseeing too many people, and I need to be focusing on the next thing. But I'm in the details too much on my daily stuff, and I'm being reactive.
So two things. One. So I've got 25 people on my team. Every Monday is what I call mentoring day. And that's all I'm doing on Monday. I block up the whole day to do mentoring calls and meetings. Now it's all calls because we're not meeting in person, but it's for my team. And depending on how close you are to me and how, your sales, your direct reports versus just frontline guys. Some people I meet every week, some people once a month, and the worst is once a quarter. The most infrequent I'm meeting 4 times a year because we're not working on anything directly. they're working with, somebody who's then reporting to me.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody in the organization gets some time with me on an ongoing basis. And I find it actually helps to have an entire day just focus on mentoring, because all I have to worry about is mentoring my team. I'm not thinking about, did we hit these numbers and what,
Not shifting gears so many times.
Yeah,
that's where it
dude,
gets
like
clunky.
that's where
Yeah.
you get destroyed. If you're sitting there also thinking about this piece of content you have to make or whatever other responsibilities you have, then you're not actually focused or present with your team.
Yeah.
So I make Mondays mentoring day, and I train people. Bring your problems to me on the Monday. Now,
I like that.
If something urgent does happen in between, people have access to me through Google Hangouts or Facebook Messenger internally in my team. But I'll also have to remind them, like, I'll be back to you on email within 24 hours. You email me, within 24 hours you get a response back. I get to respond on my time. If you're interrupting me, like if you're sending me a message right now, like if somebody sent me a message right now, I'd look at what it is. Like he's interrupting my chat with you to see what's going on. And I'll call them out on it. It's like, could this have waited? Is this a 24-hour issue? And most of the time, oh yeah, I could wait. So you have to train people.
Either that or train them to take more ownership and problem solve on things instead of always, I'm the easy button right now. Right?
Yeah. Well, that's also you empowering them.
Yeah.
You say, hey, I trust you. You make a decision. And if you make the wrong one, we'll figure it out after. It's on me.
Good point.
Right?
It's a great point.
So we'll do that a lot. Like, we release, 4 or 5 videos a day on YouTube across our different channels, maybe more. And I can't see every video that goes out before it goes out, especially on a day like today where I have to focus in on the projects that I'm working on. And so, like, you make a decision. I trust your judgment. And yesterday, a video went up that had success in the title or on the thumbnail and was spelled with 1 S at the end instead of 2.
The success and failures in the details. It's always in the details,
but
right?
It's like, so we caught it late and it went up. And some people are like, you can't even spell success right. Why am I watching this video? Right?
Yep.
But you have to be willing. Here's the thing. You can either get all the small things done or the big things done. You can't get both.
Yeah.
To get the big things done, which is you need to map your calendar to what you want to get done, right? So if Monday is going to be mentoring day, great. That means you're going to miss some things on a Monday. So the classic for me is media. I miss a lot of media because I'm not willing to respond in a second. And their deadline is 2 p.m. today. You have to be willing to let the small balls drop because you're chasing down big things.
Right. And it's just that balance of, hey, success and failures in the details. But I also, if I'm shifting gears too many times, I'm not going to be effective and efficient, right? For me or my team or the people that I serve. So
yeah. If you're the guy responding to the ding every time an email comes in, you're never working on anything important. You're only working on the tiny details.
That's so true. Yeah, I need to take a step back, drop some of those details a little bit, trust my team, and chunk out the time and have that dedicated so that, I also need breathing room for just creativity for the, thinking of the next things and planning that stuff.
And expect them to make mistakes.
Yeah, that's true.
They're gonna make mistakes and it's your fault. If they made a mistake, that's fine. We'll fix it, guys. Let's go. Like, it's a team effort. You don't say, hey, you screwed up. What are you doing? You gave them rope. They're going to hang themselves sometimes. You're there to save them and say, it's okay. We got this. Almost all of those little things are savable.
Yeah.
If a client, like, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? Your sales guy is not going to go and punch a client in the face, right? Like, he needs help on a contract, and so it gets delayed a day, or he made a mistake somewhere. It's like they don't have that much responsibility that they can sink the company with a decision.
That's true.
So whatever mistake they make, I just go in thinking I can save this. If they say the wrong thing to the client, you can make it up to the client.
It's true.
Right?
Yeah.
So just instead of trying to be perfect and playing small, you're making some mistakes, but going much faster.
Yeah, and then kind of answer someone in your chat here, big versus small, like the small details as in like every day, like, hey, I got this situation with this client or this lead that we're trying to, you know, close on, or this student or this member. Big stuff is like the next launch and how we're going to structure it and what I need to be focusing on, like in terms of training. Instead of training salespeople now, I need to be training managers on best practices and high performance, right? So, and serving them in that way. So that's
so this is where it's you valuing your time more to say, hey, me working to develop managers is important. I need to have this figured out this year. I don't want to be having the same conversation a year from now and I haven't trained anybody because I've been answering emails all day long, right? You feeling that it's important yourself. Because if you feel it's important, you can then train your team how to interact with you when you need to be available, but it's going to be on the Monday. And when it's Monday, you show up. You show up and you're 100% focused only on them and you're pushing them to get better and to grow as leaders and to improve. So you feeling that it's more important than training the people. So Monday, my team, everybody always adjusts around my calendar. So on Monday, this is our system. I'm meeting Alex at this time and Jeremy at this time and Sandra at this time, and they're booking it around my time. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to show up for them and give them insane value. When you're selling it up, you need to think about who above you is also causing you distractions, and then having a conversation to say, hey, I want to spend Wednesday afternoons focused on building sales managers. Because if we don't build up sales managers, we're never going to get to accomplish the goals that we're after here. So Wednesday afternoons, I'm spending building, and whatever that looks like.
Yeah, and the people above me, and like, I mean, my CEO and the rest of our leadership team, we meet every Tuesdays, and that's great. It's not really that. It's more of the, I mean, I have a direct reports of like 20 people because I don't have those people set as managers yet, right? So, and kind of to go into that next question around all this, and this kind of leads into it, is we just launched this new product, you know, and new info products, as you know, pop right out of the gate for the most part when you structure them right and do the launch right. And then they turn into that evergreen and flagship product, right? So how do you know, and I had to move some of my team members over there, right? But so I can't take every high performer over there, otherwise it's going to destabilize our other product and everything that we've built over the last 6-8 months with that. But you know, I also don't want to create a shiny object syndrome where everyone wants to go over there, but I also don't want to hold opportunities back from high performers as well, right? And so, you know, when it comes to serving others, like specifically high performers on my team, how do I, you know, because it feels like maybe I did that launch wrong, or I want to make sure I'm creating a culture that fosters high performance and rewards them and gives them what they need, right? So is there anything around like creating a culture that keeps those people satisfied and it doesn't feel like I'm holding them back?
So a couple ideas. One, when you're meeting with people on your Mondays or whatever day is going to be mentoring day, don't turn it into an operations. This is not operations. This is not what you do Tuesday with your CEO. That's ops focus, what we're working on, what our deadlines, how we're doing. This is about them. Your Monday sessions are about helping them grow. What are you interested in learning? Are you happy here? Do you need more hours? Are you okay with how's your team? What projects do you want to work on? And you want to create an environment where they're comfortable telling you what they need and what they want to work on. Most people aren't crazy high ambitious achievers and know exactly what they want. A lot of people, you actually have to push to say, I'm not happy with you just doing the same thing all the time. Like, I need you to grow. Part of being here is you're going to grow. Like, just adopt the mentality. For me, if you're around me, you have to grow and become a better human. It's just going to happen. So if you start to infect your people with that, is, hey, part of joining is not just making money and not just having the life that you are trying to build for yourself, but you're going to get better. You're going to become a better person, a better husband, a better wife, a better worker, a better skill set, having a bigger impact on the world because you're with me. You're not going to say that because it sounds egotistic, but like the mindset, that's what I'm taking in. Like, this time that we have together when you're meeting somebody has to matter to them as a human. And that's hard when it's all operations focused. Did you get this done? Did you get that done? This training, blah, 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 right? It's got to be caring about them as a human. So that's one. Two, I would say I would still have time at least once a quarter with everybody.
Okay.
Not just give it to the middle managers and hope that they run with it. And then you don't know who the frontline people are. Yeah. If it's once a quarter for 25 minutes, it's a worthwhile investment just to know that somebody has their back. You still have a pulse on what's going on, that you're not in some ivory tower, And you might also then spot the next high achievers to go off and do the next thing that you want to do with them. And tied into that, what helps is you need to start training your leaders how to be leaders.
Yeah.
Helping them role play. So if they're now, if Johnny is now managing 5 people underneath, he doesn't know, maybe he's never managed people before. He just was a high sales performer and now he's got to manage. Those skills don't necessarily map. It's a whole new thing.
Yeah, they don't. It's a whole new thing.
A lot of people who excel at managing themselves actually suck at managing other people because they just expect them that whatever worked for me is going to work for you.
Yeah.
And it's almost never that way.
So true.
So part of your role now becomes helping them become better leaders. So when Julie brings Johnny the problem, what does Johnny do? Well, you help Johnny figure that out, and it helps if you already know Julie because you've met her a couple times already, right? So your job now becomes actually just like when an entrepreneur goes and starts selling franchises. You're not in the business anymore. You're in the business of managing franchisees.
So true.
You're just a coach and a mentor now. Like that's your main thing is you're going to be coaching and mentoring your 5 managers under you in a really heavy way, and then the whole organization in a light touch way. And that can all be done on 1 to 2 days a week. If you're focused and not distracted and you're just paying attention and you're all in on helping those people and that's your only mindset, you wake up today and like, that's all I'm going to do today. You can get a lot of stuff done in a 25-minute meeting.
So true. As long as it's pointed and there's an agenda and there's a mission to it, right? Of course. So, yeah, that's awesome. And I think the other thing too is when you have issues like this, I mean, for me, I'm an emotional person, right? Which is great in some ways, but every strength used too much becomes a weakness, right? Mm-hmm. And so when it comes to this and a high performer saying, hey, I'm not happy, I want to be on this other team or whatever it is. I mean, in some ways, that caused me to doubt my own leadership. Did I make the right decisions? Am I making the right culture for high performance here? When in some ways I should have unpacked that and probably been a better coach and been like, unpack it more because it was emotional, right? Hey, leads have been sucking this week or something like that, right? And I want to get, I think it's doing really good over there, so I want to be over there, right? And that's just, there's going to create inconsistency and a lot of weird shakiness and destabilization. So when it comes to that, how do you, instead of me doubting myself, and how do I move away from that negative self-talk and doubting my own abilities to moving forward to, focusing on how to lead and serve, others?
Reminding yourself of having that intention before you go into every meeting definitely helps. So before you sit down and meet with Julie, say my intention, just a quick 30 seconds. What do I want of this? I want Julie to feel safe, like she has a place that she can talk to me, and then I want to push her, right? That's my goal. Every time I'm on Mondays, I'm like, I want to push everybody today. Everybody's going to get pushed to be better. Most of the time it's what they need. Sometimes people just need a hug or just need to, they're so stressed out that they can't handle a bigger push. And in that case, you ease off the gas pedal. But most of the time, they need a push. And it's a push for them, not a push for what you want. It's what do they want? And often you'll need to push them. They may think they know what they want. They usually don't, because they have a really narrow scope of what can actually be done in the business. And you're seeing a broader picture. And you can say, you know what, with your talents and your skill set, and this is where you could win as an emotional guy, is if you have good EQ to understand this person, what they're going through, to say you shouldn't, that thing you think you want is not even the thing you want to do. You need to be doing this. And then grooming them to go off and do that and giving them some kind of challenge that they can start working on that thing. And maybe it means they have to leave the company. Like maybe the best thing for them isn't even being with you anymore. Because they want to open up a bake shop.
Yeah.
And it's like they might even be a good worker, but their passion is to be a baker. And you can't give them a bake shop. Right? It's just not, if somebody wants to improve their Photoshop skills, I'm sure there's some kind of position you can work at to help them within the company. But bake shop is not something you're going to go off and do. So they might have to leave. It's okay to have self-doubt. I call it the 85% rule, that when I'm 85% certain, I'm 100%. And until I get to 85%, I don't tell them anything. Yeah. So the thing is, if you are giving feedback to somebody and tell them you should do this, if you have any doubt, they're going to hang on to the doubt. even if you're 95% sure, they're going to hang on to the doubt,
Yeah,
and then they won't do it.
That's so true.
So when you're 85% sure, you're like, this is what you need to do. You're 100% sure. You act like you're 100 because you become 100. But up until then, you're asking questions, and asking questions and listening alone is value. If you don't know what to tell Julie to do, you're just listening to her. If she's telling you about her mom and how her mom used to beat her or whatever, and you're like, I have no idea what to tell her to do. Just the fact that she's having a conversation with you and opening up with these things, it might be the only adult she's ever told this stuff to. Like that alone is value without even giving her any kind of push. And then I would look at people who are doing it and consuming as much of their content as possible. Like I'm doing coaching sessions every day. Gary Vee is doing coaching sessions a bunch. A lot of people going on Instagram Live and people are coming and asking questions, and it becomes pattern recognition. So if you have the emotional intelligence to understand what this person is going through, and the pattern recognition to know what they should be doing because you've seen it enough, then you become, a God leader.
Yeah, and then kind of like when it comes into like developing as a leader, and I mean, because a couple months ago I was on the phones, right, and we're just going through a lot of change, and I'm going into this management position. We're launching something new. Now I need to build like a whole other level underneath me, right? That's kind of where we're at, and so it's happening so fast. Like when it comes to developing as a leader and building my skill sets to serve, like what perspective do I always need to keep in mind throughout that process? Like, because I'm running into places where I'm doubting myself, and am I building this right? And I think it always needs to come from my intention, but I need to develop those leadership skills really fast.
Yeah, well, it's great. I mean, what, you want to develop them slowly? I mean, it's great. Let's go.
Yeah.
I think you'll do well. I think you've got the heart for it, and I think the fact that you're worried about screwing people up is a great asset in a leader, right? If you didn't
I've had the carrot dangled in front of me in the corporate space, and I hated it, right? I never want to do that to anybody because I see people's worth, right?
I would split up the days. I would split up the days so you have time when you're just doing operations meetings. So your direct reports, you're going to have operations meetings regularly because you got to catch up how they're doing, how their numbers, how their team, that kind of stuff. But then you need to have a day or half a day where you're spending just caring about the people. I don't want to talk about your numbers. I want to know how you're doing. Do you like it here? How's home life?
Yeah.
Right? So if you were to come in, I'd be asking about your wedding coming up and how is it, how leaving the state, is that a big deal? Like, are you going to miss Seattle?
Totally.
Do you have family back home? Do you need something here to set up? Do you have friends here? Like all this kind of stuff is not related to, okay, what were our numbers last week? Are we on track with our new launch? Because that's also important, but that's not leadership, right? That's just task management, which you still need. But I would separate them. Don't do them on the same day. When you're going to show up and be a leader, you're just caring about the human. Imagine if it was somebody, just like you tried to help somebody here on the IG Live who asked a question, and you wanted to address it, that mentality. Right. I want to help you as a person. And even if you don't have advice or knowledge to share with them, listening alone is enough because chances are nobody's listening to them anyway.
That is a powerful perspective.
I would challenge you to also find a time with the people above you who you respect. Like, who do you like the most? Who's the best leader in the organization? Is it CEO? Is it somebody else?
Yeah, my CEO is beyond his time for leadership, I would say.
So I would ask him for a monthly coffee or call or lunch.
We do a weekly one-on-one, and so
but focus not on the projects.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's so easy to default into how's the launch going, how's it, not what you do on Tuesdays, right? Go somewhere off-site. I mean, once we get back and you can, all that stuff. Go to a coffee shop or early morning breakfast or work out together or something, and just talk about life. Being a leader, being a man, your stage in life, right? Because that's where you get, but like people don't schedule that kind of time in, and you'll learn a lot from the osmosis and be on the other side of it, that then you can be like him, or at least pieces of him, to then give to your team. And I'm sure he'll do it. He's just not thinking about it.
That's true.
A monthly half an hour workout or breakfast or coffee or something, whatever is most convenient for him, just to pick his brain on life, because I want to be a better human and you inspire me. Like, yeah, he's not going to say no to that.
Yeah, I don't know who would.
Yeah, any good mentor would. It's just he's defaulting into just operations. And I'm sure you touch on other things.
Yeah.
In your call,
we open up with
anyway.
like some personal stuff right here and there, but it's short and about maybe a couple of minutes, and that's it. And then we're digging into
make it the whole thing. The whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're not allowed to talk about the projects you're working on when you go meet him. You're going to come and bring him a life thing you're dealing with.
Like that.
Yeah, if you do that for the next 12 months, and then whatever you're struggling with, like, you can still say, hey, I don't know how to lead Julie. Julie's gone through this thing, and I feel really bad for her, but I don't know what to tell her to make her life better.
Yeah. So like, think of leadership as multidimensional, not just the business and the projects and managing the people and the numbers and all the things that need to happen to make the business operate, but the other dimensions of it too, right? The compassion part, and listening to people, and being there on more of the personal things as well, and understanding why they're doing something, what they're trying to go for, and helping them groom themselves to reach that potential. So
the mindset I come in is I want people to win more than I want them to win with me.
I'm just trying to unpack that in my head a little bit. So that we want them to win, they don't have to win with me. So
I want them to win more than I want them to win with me. Meaning, like, we're having this conversation now. You bought my book. You're part of the Movement Makers program. Awesome. I would love for you to be in Movement Makers forever. But I want you to win. I want you to win as a human. Like, if you go, when you start doing your monthly mentorship with your CEO, and you say, man, I'm getting way more out of this than I am talking to Evan on his Movement Makers program, I'm going to cancel that thing. I'm pumped. Like, I want you to win as a human more than I want you to win with me.
I love that.
We're running a parallel path, right? Like, right now we're on the same path. This is it. This is our time together. Yep. But at some point you might have to jump off to go do something that's actually better for you. And I'm not the best source for you anymore. Yep. Awesome. I'm pumped. Like, I'm going to put, if I even see it, I'm pushing you there. Like, I'm kicking you out to go do that thing.
Yeah, you did your job. You served me, and I'm off on the new path.
And it frees you. It frees you, and the good karma always comes back. Like, people who I've pushed away to go, like, you have to go chase that thing down in a year or 2 years or 5 years or 10 years or whatever, it always comes back. And they remember you as being their best boss of all time. Mm-hmm. So if you go in thinking, it's not about how they can win in your company. It's about how can they win as a human. And for a lot of people, like I look at Alex and who helps me run my companies, the best place in the world is running that business. He would die going anywhere else. He would not be happy. Like, this is the happiest place for him, and I need to make it even better for him. And that's the case for a lot of people on my team. If they went somewhere else, it wouldn't be as good a situation.
Right.
And I believe that. I'm trying to make it even better for them. So we're still on a parallel path. I think Movement Makers is fantastic for you. If I didn't, I'd tell you to get out and go do something else. But having that mentality puts you into the service mode, puts you into the selfless mode first. And that's where you actually get not just their brains, but their heart and their soul, because they feel like you actually care about them and that this place is actually the best thing for them. And you're going to make sure that they grow and develop as a human. They're not just here because you're trying to make your numbers for next quarter.
So true. So true. I love it, man. Well, thank you so much for the time. I appreciate it. I mean, that's really all the questions that I had, and I appreciate your perspective and everything that you're doing here. It's great, man, and I'm very blessed and honored to be here. So thank you.
You've got all the pieces, man. Like, you've got the heart, you've got the care, you've got the compassion. It's now just not letting the voice get in the way to say that you're not good enough and you don't have the leadership skills or training or anything else. You got it. Like, leadership is a heart game, and you've got it in spades, dude.
Thanks, man. I love it. Well, thank you so much, man. I appreciate all the time.
All right. Much love. Talk to you
All
soon.
right. Later.
Ciao.